Here are the solutions to the exercises from Chapter 4. How did you go? Okay, well I'll go through them with you. Let's do the variable names exercise first. Which of the following are valid variable names? Well, month was perfectly valid. Interestingly, so was echo. It is perfectly okay to have a variable name that is the same as a Unix command. Now this was not valid because if you put the $sign in there, that refers to the contents of the variable to be displayed, or variable substitution. It is not a variable name. Next, 24 hours is not valid because variable names cannot start with a digit. And similarly, this one is invalid because variable names cannot contain a dash. An underscore is okay, but a dash is not okay. A %sign is right out. Also, you cannot have a space in a variable name. You can certainly have a space in a variable's contents, but you can't have a space in the variable's name. Just the letter A by itself is a valid variable name. Variables can be just one digit if necessary. One character. Can't be a digit. It can't be a digit because variables cannot start with a digit. They can have digits in them, but not at the beginning. Underscore first underscore name is perfectly valid. It starts with an underscore and that is okay. The only thing it can't start with is a digit. And winner exclamation mark is not valid because variable names cannot contain exclamation marks. Now I'll show you some solutions to the other exercises. Here is a small script called variables which I have written to solve the question on creating variables that contain certain values. This script is available on the course CD in the Chapter 4 folder, and all the other scripts that I show you are also available on the CD in the appropriate place as well. So let's go through it. We've got the first one, which is simply name1. I've called my variable name1. I can call it anything I like. It just simply contains Fred. Name1 equals Fred. And then I echo it back out using the $sign in front of name1. Now name2 was almost the same as that, except I had to enclose the Fred Smith in some kind of quotes. Now, which type of quotes could I use? Well, I could use single quotes, which I have used here, or I could have used double quotes as well. Either one would have worked perfectly fine. The reason I had to enclose it in quotes is because there is a space in the variable's value, and there's no way I'm going to be able to assign a value with a space in it to a variable unless I surround that value with quotes. And finally, the that's life. Well, I can't possibly surround that with single quotes because the actual text itself has got a single quote in it. So I actually have to surround it with double quotes, which makes everything work okay. Let's just prove that that worked. Colon, exclamation mark, %. Remember my little shortcut, the %sign. And Fred Smith, and that's life. And that worked. Now we'll try that second exercise on setting the age. So I simply do this, age equals 45. Then I run the script. I've got a script which I'll show you. It's called simply age script, and that's available in the CD as well. And it just simply does an echo $age. So let's run that, age script, and it echoes nothing at all. Now why is that? What's the magic step that I still have to do here? Can you remember? Well, that's right. I have to export age. I have to make the age variable available to all subsequent scripts. So I do that. Age is now exported. So if I run age script again, this time I get 45. So that's a little exercise on the virtues of exporting your variables. You don't have to export a variable, but you do have to export a variable if you plan to have it used by another script. Finally, here is the exercise on the Joe script. Now here is the code that's simply copied directly from the exercise, and this of course will not work. Let's just prove that it will not work, and yep, I get a bunch of error messages. Okay. So what in fact is wrong with this? Well, the first thing is we've got this little usage of the date program here. We're obviously trying to cause the date program to run, so we need back quotes for that, so I'll change those into backward quotes. But notice of course that the backward quotes are now inside single quotes. There's a single quote there, and then right at the beginning before the word hello there's another single quote, and if we want the backward quotes to be special and for this all to work, we can't enclose them in single quotes because nothing is special inside a single quote. So we've got to turn this into double quotes, and again we've got to turn this one into double quotes as well. Alright, so let's save that and try and run that. Hello Joe, today's date is, and then there's today's date. Now, the fact that it was on multiple lines is perfectly okay. We've got the echo starting on this line and finishing on that line. That's fine. And the fact that there is a single quote right here, that's okay as well, because that single quote is inside double quotes. And when single quotes are inside double quotes, they are no longer special. So that is a working version of the script. The script is now corrected, and I will put that onto the CD as well. Finally, here is the solution to getting all of those program outputs to appear within one version of more. The trick is, of course, to put them all inside parentheses and then pipe the results of the whole lot to the more program. Now I'll run that and prove that that worked, and there we go. It's given me the current date at the top, then the current working directory, then the contents of this directory, and then a list of users. Now I'll just scroll through that list of users and then I get to the end, so more is allowing me to scroll through the whole lot, so that's clearly working. And to get them all happening all on the one line, which is another thing that I asked for, I simply do it using those semicolons. You can see there's a semicolon separating each of the commands right there. Okay, so those are all the exercises. How did you go? But we're not quite finished with this chapter yet, because I'm going to take a moment now to introduce to you the course project. And there are some exercises, or at least one big exercise if you like, associated with the course project. It's actually a meaningful, useful and somewhat substantial exercise, which will be more educational, more beneficial to you than the simple one-line, one-off, tiny little scripts that I'm getting you to do. Furthermore, there will be a couple of chapters later on in the course where the only exercises that I set for that chapter are exercises for the course project to enhance and expand the capabilities of the course project. So if you don't start the course project, then you will have trouble doing those course exercises later on in the course. Anyway, stay tuned, that's coming up next.